In today's video, I'm going to show you how to play this solo. So we're playing in the key of B minor today. The chord progression is B minor 7, F sharp minor 7, G major 7, and D major. The second time round, instead of playing an F sharp minor 7, we play an F sharp dominant 7. I'm using the B minor scale for pretty much the entire solo. I'm adding a few chromatic notes here and there as passing notes, but it's all using the B minor scale today. I'm going to break down the solo bar by bar. Now I want you to stick around to the end because after we break down the solo, I've got a very, very special gift for you. So let's take a look at bar number 1 of the solo. So what I'm doing here is starting off by arpeggiating the B minor 7. This is a theme throughout the solo. I'm going to be arpeggiating the chords that are being played in the chord progression. And as you can see, I'm just ascending the B minor 7 arpeggio. Then I use a little bit of a double stop lick using thirds. So as you can see, we've got loads of different thirds available to us on the G and B strings, and I love using the G and B strings for my thirds. And then at the end of this particular lick, I used some natural harmonics. Natural harmonics sound really, really awesome, and if you're working in a key that allows you to use natural harmonics, you should definitely take advantage of that. The key of B minor allows us to use all of the natural harmonics on the 5th fret and the 7th fret, and I've really taken advantage of it in this solo. So let's take a look at bar number 2 now. So I'm starting off again by arpeggiating the G major 7 that we're playing over. I'm using a drop 2 voicing and I'm playing in second inversion. That means the 5th is in the bass. We're starting on the 5th. And then I simply just play a descending scale run. Pretty simple stuff. But I added a little bend on the 17th fret of the B string. I did a bit of a double bend, I call this. So I bend all the way up to where I want to bend, and then I release the bend slightly and bend back up again. So it's almost a bit like a vibrato. I call it a double bend. I don't know if that's the actual technical name for it, but that's what I'm going to call it. Okay, let's keep things moving and take a listen to bar number 3 now. Bar number 3 starts off with a B minor arpeggio, again arpeggiating the chord that is being played, and then after that I played a very speedy descending run. Now this is a really, really tricky lick to get down. It took me a while to get this one down, but it is definitely worth it. I'm using an add 4 arpeggio, 2 frets below our root note. So if we're playing in the key of B minor, we play an A add 4 arpeggio. So take a look at how the arpeggio looks. And what you can do is you can play this over 3 different octaves and you can get some really awesome sounding runs. So what I did is I just descended this arpeggio over 3 octaves. I started off by playing pull-offs on the first octave and then I slid as much as I could on the last 2 octaves, and it created a very slippery sort of legato kind of sound, which is what we want with neo soul, as it's a very smooth sounding genre. Now let's move on to bar number 4. Okay, so this one is quite simple again. I'm just arpeggiating the G major that we're playing over, and then I play a little descending run with a few chromatic notes in there. These are grace notes, so they're little notes that we play for the note that we're actually intending to play, but we play them very quickly. It just adds a little bit of extra interest to the note that we're playing. And then again, I play some more natural harmonics because they sound so awesome. Those last 2 harmonics create a semitone interval and creates a little bit of dissonance, which I really, really like. Now let's listen to bar number 5. So to be honest, with bar number 5, there isn't really too much going on with my thought process here. I just had a cool melody in my head and I transposed it onto my guitar. Now obviously you've got to pay attention to your phrasing, make sure the phrasing sounds good, but that's all I did. I just had a melody in my head and then transposed it on guitar. And sometimes that's the best thing to do. Now bar number 6 is exactly the same as bar number 2, so we can completely skip that and we can move on to bar number 7. So let's take a listen to bar number 7. Okay, so bar number 7, I'm playing a B minor triad, I'm arpeggiating it, and then I'm moving into a lick with sixths. Now sixths are one of my favorite intervals to use for double stops. They sound really, really, really beautiful. Now here are all the 6 available in the key of B minor on the D and B strings. harmonics. I'd recommend learning them because then you can slide up and down between them, create some really awesome sounds. That's exactly what I did in this lick. And I also did a little bit of a slide vibrato at the 19th fret. I played the 19th fret, 6th interval, slid up to the 20th fret, which is not in the key, and then back down again. Slide vibrato is a really, really awesome technique that you should start using. If you want to learn more about slide vibrato, I've done a video, you can check it out there. Now let's take a look at the final bar of the solo. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing a G major 7 voicing very high up on the fretboard, 12, 12, 14 on the top 3 strings, and that really complements the lower G major 7 that's being played in the backing track. Now while the chord is still ringing out, I do this little flourish where I play some hammer-ons and pull-offs on the top string and on the B string as well, and you can create some really awesome sounds that way. So experiment with your own flourishes, see what you can come up with. And then to finish the solo, I just played the 15th fret of the E string, 19th fret of the B string, and 19th fret of the G string. Creates a bit of a dissonant sound, but also a very, very beautiful kind of sound. Finishes off the solo very nicely. That is the entire solo. As I promised, I have a very, very special bonus for you for sticking around to the end of the video. Thank you so much. If you head to this link at the bottom here, you're going to get access to the Chord Charisma soloing guide, which only comes with my book Chord Charisma, so you usually have to pay for it, but you're getting it for free. This Chord Charisma soloing guide is going to show you loads of different concepts for your soloing, and it's going to show you different scales to play in different situations, and it's going to be a really, really great aid to your soloing. So it's completely free if you head to that link, and I hope you enjoy it. This soloing guide comes with my book Chord Charisma 2.0, and Chord Charisma 2.0 is the absolute best guide on writing chord progressions out there. If you want to learn how to write some awesome, sophisticated, jazzy, neo-soul sounding chord progressions, this is the guide for you. So here's a little bit more about the book. Chord Charisma 2.0 is a complete guide to writing incredible, jaw-dropping chord progressions. Everything you need to know about harmony and chords is contained within this book. It will take you through the basics of building tension and releasing your chord progressions, and will build upon this foundation with more advanced concepts like jazzy extended chords, borrowed chords from other keys, and cool substitutions to take your chord progression knowledge and ability to the next level. There is a serious amount of content in this book, but it's laid out in a structured fashion with action steps at the end of each chapter to make sure you fully internalized and are actually able to use what you've learned from the book in your playing. That's really, really important. It's a very practical book, which will get you writing new progressions straight away, guaranteed. You'll also have access to personal feedback on your progressions from me via the Chord Charisma Facebook community. And as a bonus, I've thrown in a soloing guide to go with the book, so you won't get lost when you're trying to play licks over your new and improved chord progressions. Head to the link in the description to grab your copy of Chord Charisma 2.0 today.